Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Thursday morning, it's 10 a.m., and you know what that means, right? It is time for Her Investing Coffee Talk with yours truly, Jessica Perrone. I'm so excited that you guys come here every Thursday morning to watch and interact with the coffee talk. For those that are tuning in on platforms other than Facebook, I'm going to be referring to the chat every once in a while. And the chat is available in the Facebook stream as well. So with that said, if you're like really intrigued and want to know what's going on in that stream, for sure come check it out on Facebook. That's where the chat is. As you come in, we're talking about the Super Bowl. Hey, good morning, Kendra. Good morning, Karen. So today we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. Last week was Valentine's Day, so I didn't do a Super Bowl preview, but this week we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. So ladies, you know what that means. As you come in, tell me what your favorite Super Bowl commercial was. Yeah, do that. And also, I want to know your favorite Super Bowl party junk food. Yeah, so those are my polls of the day. As you come in, say hi, introduce yourself to the group. It's always fun. The chat here is always fun. And today's polls are: what were your favorite Super Bowl ads? And what is your favorite Super Bowl party junk food? Yes, so those are the polls that we have going on today. So definitely put them in the chat. And I'm just gonna move right into it. We got a lot of stuff to cover, and I noticed that the more I do this, the more I want to cover, and it's really exciting. And for those who may be just tuning in for the first time, I'm Jessica Perrone. I'm the founder of her financial IQ. And I used to be in finance. Yes, I used to be in finance. And I left finance about 3 years ago to be a stay-at-home mom. Yeah. I continued to trade, but I was lonely. I was lonely at home by myself trading. I wanted to be able to have a network of women that I could talk investing with. But when I was on that journey looking for it, what I figured out was that there weren't a lot of women that were trading. And in fact, a lot of women had anxiety about investing in money. So that is where the idea for my program came about. Both the Her Investing Coffee Talk, where my goal is to just have women get comfortable with the concepts of finance, money, and investing. Just to hear it. No, I don't want to say dumbed down. No, it's not dumbed down because we are not dumb. No, it's to make it approachable. It's to make it approachable and just kind of tweak the way that it is presented. So it's not presented in a boring economist way. No, it's fun and relatable. And I had one of these breakthroughs yesterday with one of my students, and I got so verklempt I almost wanted to cry. This elderly, I shouldn't say elderly, but very fit woman, and who's older than I am. How about that? Let's just put it that way. Who's older than I am? Who came with no investing, hardly any technology background. She's like, I'm going to learn about investing. I'm going to learn about investing. And she came, and yesterday she had a eureka moment, and I was so proud of her. And she was so proud of herself as well. And that's what it's about. It's about empowering yourself. It's empowering yourself as women to take part of your investment strategies, whether it's talking to your financial advisor, taking control of that, whether it is self-directed funds, that's fine. Whether it's just getting all your finances in a row so you can think about investing in the future. That is my wish for you. That's my hopes and dreams for you as you come to this program every week, or even, if you choose to expand your journey to come to my classes. And for those who aren't familiar with my classes, we start with really, really super basic concepts. Yeah. And it's funny because the women will come to my classes and at first they're like, oh, they're really you can see the body language. They're nervous. They're scared. And then once they start seeing how fun it can be and how approachable they can be, they open up and they start getting it. And that's what makes me excited. that response to this program and this method. And yeah, it's really super exciting. So, so the March and April schedule is going to be going up on my website. That's www.herfiniq at the end of this week. Remember, ladies, next week I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm so excited about it. Yes, we're going to have our first FinIQ meetup in real life, IRL meetup, and then I will be doing a workshop there as well. I'm so excited about that. There's so many like trader like celebs that are going to be there, and I'm just like excited to like share the stage with them. Okay, and then so next week it will be live from Vegas. It's my first remote show. So if there's technical glitches or the quality isn't so great, please bear with me. But I want to do it. I want to do it from Vegas. Who doesn't want to do a live show from Vegas? Yeah, so I'm going to be doing the show live from Vegas next week. So if there are technical difficulties, please just bear with me. So we're going to get started here. So you know the drill, ladies. Go ahead and grab that identifying investment worksheet. You can download it from my Linktree link. It is in the description of our of the show. And you're just going to go ahead and download that identifying investment worksheet, because the hardest part about starting to invest is what to invest in, right? And to start to build your ideas of companies that you believe in and that you want to start researching and watching and becoming to know them intimately, so that when there is a good opportunity, you can get involved. Okay, so that's what this method is about. It's about expanding your knowledge base of companies that you believe in. Okay, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to also get those companies across sectors as well. Today, though, I'm giving you a warning. It is a lot of consumer. I know, and that's a sector I try to get away from. But today is a consumer discretionary heavy day. So keep that in mind when you're listening to these talks. So who loves football? Let's get started here. Who loves football? I love football. I do. Yes, I'm a girl and I love football. But you know, I think that might have to do with the fact that I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And in Pittsburgh, I like to joke that I was born and swaddled in a terrible towel. I mean, that's how entrenched football is into the culture there. It really is. Like everyone wears Steelers, the gold and black. You know, it's everywhere. Steelers are everywhere, and I'm a huge Steeler fan. But that also translates to being a big football fan. So with that said, I love the Super Bowl. I do. I love the football. I love the parties. I love the junk food. I eat like super duper healthy because that's what makes me feel good. But I love the Super Bowl splurge day. And yeah, you'll catch me in the corner like with the dips, you know, and not eating the healthiest, extra slices of pizza and stuff. Yeah, that would be me. Yes, I am that person that's like standing by the table and when the buffalo dip is gone, yeah, that was me. Yeah. But anyhow, you know what? I don't think I'm the only one. And this year, not only that, the Super Bowl had record viewership. And here's some of those stats. These stats I got from Seeking Alpha. So the Super Bowl this year got 112 million viewers, okay? And that was up 14% from last year. Yeah, you know, up 14% last year. And so the breakdown on those viewers, so 99.2 million viewers tuned in from NBC's main delivery channel, and then another 11.2 million on streaming. So that would be Peacock, and then about 2 million on Telemundo's Spanish network. Yeah, so those were the three main ways that people tuned in. And then to keep this in mind, they were also saying that the NFL viewership for the regular season actually rose 10% year over year. So yeah, growth, interest, excitement over football. So I'm not the only one that's excited about football, right? So not only is that good for the networks, right, and the NFL, not only is that good for the NFL, but it's also good for the viewers of the ads, right? So if we had this many viewers for the game, we had this many viewers for the ads. And what were some of those ads that you liked the most? Put them in the chat as I'm talking about it. But I have to say that my favorite ad at the Super Bowl was actually the Rocket Mortgage ad, right? And that ticker is RKT, and the Barbie house. Okay. I loved that ad. I was chuckling and laughing out loud. So I'm a pretty jolly person, and when I laugh, like, it made me laugh out loud. I was like cracking up. I loved it. I loved it so much. And so it's based, and maybe it's just because I'm a mom and I have three kids, three daughters, and I've actually, seen them play with the Barbie houses in the past. And even I played with the Barbie houses growing up, right? I loved them. But anyhow, Barbie is also owned by Mattel, and that ticker is MAT. So it's almost like a dual ad, right? It's almost like a co-branded ad because you have the Rocket Mortgage and then you also have the Barbie. So I really loved their spin on the chaotic real estate market. Yeah, that was really fun. And then the other thing I noticed, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there was a lot of EV car ads this year. Did anyone else notice that? I was like, oh, it's another one. It's another one. It's another EV. Oh, another EV car, right? Another one. So some of the names that we saw were GM, and that ticker is GM. And my second runner-up favorite commercial also falls in this category. And who else loved that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Salma Hayek ad in Palm Springs? Zeus coming down, like, and being depressed. I love that ad. That was the other one that made me laugh out loud. Yeah, that was pretty good. So that ad was for BMW, and the ticker for that one is BMWYY. So then you saw Nissan. Nissan Motors had one. That ticker is NSANY. And then we also had Kia Motors, which is KIMFT. Yes, and I'm just going to go over here to the chat really fast. Karen is saying that she also really liked, oh yes, the Scarlett Johansson Amazon ad, the Alexa one. Yes. I thought that was funny too. That was a good one. I almost forgot about that. And Amazon, of course, AMZN. There we go. Amazon in the house too. Good one from the chat. Thank you for posting that in, Karen. I really super appreciate that. So there were actually two ads of companies that I wasn't familiar with. And that's the thing about the stock market, right? And all these tickers, there are so many companies out there, right? There's so many companies out there. So when you have your watch list that is created from your identifying investment list, these are the companies that you are specializing in and that you're interested in. But you can always add to it. You can always add to it as you find other companies that you believe in or you find interesting. So two that I kind of found interesting because I went, what's that? So the first one was Polestar. Did anyone else look at that Polestar car and go, oh, like you're seeing all these EVs, right? And then Polestar comes across and you're like, oh, that's a good looking army. I wonder what this Polestar is. Did anyone else feel that way when it came to that car? Okay. So and it turns out, and this is according to Seeking Alpha, that the SPAC, Polestar is not publicly traded yet, but there is a SPAC that is going to take it public. And that SPAC is Gores Guggenheim, and the ticker is GGPI. And it turns out that last year, Polestar actually announced it plans to launch 3 new cars over the next 3 years. So, we'll see how that works out. We have all of these mainstream companies, right, that are going electric. And then you have, then you also have a few other ones that come out that are like these outliers, right? And it's so interesting to see how they evolve. Now, the other name that sort of like the other ad that kind of piqued my interest, and another company I wasn't really familiar with was Wallbox. Does anyone remember that Wallbox ad? It's about the guy that is afraid of electricity. Do any of you guys notice that? Well, anyhow, so that is an EV battery charging specialist, and I guess they're trying to get into the retail space for safe charging of your cars, like in the garage and whatnot. So that's an interesting play. So the name of the company is Wallbox, and the ticker is WBX. Yeah, WBX. So moving on here, and I saw some people putting in their favorite Super Bowl junk foods. A Super Bowl isn't a Super Bowl without a party, right? The Super Bowl party. Now, I personally had a quiet one this year. Yeah, I had a quiet one. But I hope that I'll be invited to a really fun Super Bowl party next year. So, keep me on your list for your Super Bowl party next year. I swear I'm a lot of fun. I am. So a Super Bowl is not a Super Bowl without the junk food, right? And one of those junk food staples is pizza. Yeah, and there's actually two publicly traded pizza chains. One is Papa John's International, and that ticker is PZZA. And then we also have Domino's Pizza, and that ticker is DPZ. Yeah. So moving on, what else? Karen here was talking about wings. In the chat, go ahead, put in some other yeah, Super Bowl party staples that you might like. So Karen, you were thinking what I was thinking, and yes, I was thinking wings as well. And one of those tickers, those companies would be Wingstop. It's a publicly traded company, Wingstop, and that ticker is WING. And I actually saw a really interesting headline come across for Wingstop. So we've been talking about, inflation and the cost of food, right? We've been talking about that. We've also been talking about supply chain bottlenecks and how that is affecting the prices of food. Well, this headline came out of Wingstop, and it is from their execs. I got the headline from Trade the News. And what they said is that they are seeing wing prices easing in second half, H2 22, so the second half of 2022, which is actually a relief, right? Because, oh my goodness, meat prices are so expensive in the grocery store. And Karen, I really, really liked that one. Okay, so in my investing classes, I'm teaching women to stretch, to make these jumps of, so for example, it's not just a building, it's the supplies in the building, right? So it's not just a skyscraper, it's the glass for the windows, it's the steel to build it, okay? So we're looking into the components of the product that we believe in. So Karen just in the chat said Tyson too, and Tyson is a chicken supplier, right? So maybe Tyson is supplying the wings to Wingstop. I'm not saying they are, but they could be a supplier. So these are sort of the way that I'm promoting people and women and teens to start thinking about, when they're diversifying and expanding their identifying investment worksheet. So really good one, Karen. You get a gold star for putting Tyson into the chat. That's awesome. That's really super awesome. Okay, and then you're just on fire here, Karen, and I keep saying Karen. It must be the Karen show, but she's doing such a good job. She said chips, and that's where I'm going now because I love chips. And guess what company is the king of chips? Can anyone guess what company is the king of chips? And you actually saw a lot of ads from this company during the Super Bowl. Yeah, can anyone guess? Okay. 3, 2, 1. I'm telling you the answer. So it's actually Pepsi. PepsiCo. Yes, PepsiCo. And the ticker is PEP. They own Lay's, Doritos, Stacy's Pita Chips, Smart Food, Cheetos, Tostitos, and Fritos. Yes, they own a lot of different types of chips. And can I tell you, those are all my favorite types of chips. They really are. Yes, I have a weakness. I have a weakness for chips. I do, yes. Now you can send me chips as tips. Yes, you can, and I will accept them. But I don't want to eat them on a regular basis, just during the Super Bowl and special events. So, and of course, chips makes me think of what, ladies? It makes me think of salsa and guacamole. Holy guacamole. There is actually a headline that came out that I need to share with you because there's a U.S.-Mexico avocado dispute going on. Did any of you guys Did any of you guys hear this? Did any of you guys hear about this? Okay, so yeah, so this dispute apparently is causing shortages, and this is according to the New York Times. This little excerpt here. The United States decided late last week to temporarily block all imports of avocados from Mexico after a verbal threat was made to U.S. safety inspectors working in the country. Yeah, isn't that bizarre? So apparently, and this is what I read in the articles, that there's something that has to do with like drug cartels and smuggling via avocados and whatnot. But what this means for us is that there will be an avocado shortage. And in addition to that, the prices are going to go up. The law of supply and demand, right? So we're seeing it right here, the cause and effect of yeah, a verbal threat to the U.S. safety inspector working. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, enjoy that guacamole and expect the prices to go up soon. Maybe, we just need to take another trip to Mexico so that we can it was funny. Like we had a girls trip to Cancun, and I swear to goodness, we ate so much guacamole, we turned green. So we might have, it might be worthwhile if we have that urge to just go south of the border and get some guacamole. Yeah, chips, guacamole. You learn so much about me, right, in the show. Yes, you do. Okay, so what else? What else would a Super Bowl party not be a Super Bowl party without? Can you guys guess what my third category is here? Well, it has to do with bevies. Bevies, yes, we're talking about beer, and now, and also these hard seltzers now that everyone seems to really be liking, and a lot of these beer companies are actually getting into hard seltzers as well. And I think I saw like a couple Bud, they're not calling it hard seltzer, they're calling it hard soda, and I thought that was an interesting twist. But anyhow, so for beer, and it's interesting because the largest beer company by market cap is Anheuser-Busch InBev. Yeah, that ticker is BUD, and they have names like Bud, Beck's, and Corona. Yes, and then we have Heineken, Heineken NV, and that ticker is HEINY. I personally am a Corona Light type gal with a lime. Yeah, but that's just me, and I only drink, and it's funny, I only drink beer when I watch football. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I only drink beer when I watch football. That's or I should say sports in general, right? Yeah, and sports in general. That's when I drink my beer. Okay, and then Kendra Evans comes in with Constellation Brands. Really good. Kendra, you get a gold star for that one. You get a gold star. Okay, so if you guys aren't familiar with Constellation Brands, go ahead and go look it up. I'm not going to look it up right now, but they have a really interesting portfolio of brands that you are probably super familiar with on the alcoholic beverage side, whether it's hard booze or wines or rums, tequilas, whatever it is. So yeah, really good contribution, Kendra. Thank you so much. You get a gold star for that one for sure. Absolutely. Okay, so moving on here, we have Molson Coors beverage, and that's TAP, TAP, and then Sam, it wouldn't be a Super Bowl in Boston without some Sam Adams, and that's the Boston Beer Company, and that ticker is SAM. Yeah, okay, so we went from ads to EV. Okay, we went to EV, electric vehicles. We went to game day party foods, right? Where do you guys think I'm going to go now? Any guesses of where I'm going to go now? What else was I inspired by with the Super Bowl? Can anyone else guess? Okay. Sports betting. Yeah, sports betting. So here's another statistic for you guys. How about this? So gambling on the Super Bowl this year leaped to fresh records as legalized sports betting continued to boom across the US. So, and according to the American Gaming Association, 45 million more people had access to legal sports books in their home states this year after 10 additional states gave a green light to the industry. Yeah. So GeoComply, which monitors sports betting, okay, logged more than 80 million transactions over Super Bowl weekend. 80 million transactions, yeah. And that more than doubled from last year. More than doubled. It also recorded 5.6 million unique accounts that had access to legal on sports books. And that is an increase of 95% from last year. Those are big moves. Those are big changes, right? Yeah, those are huge. So what they're saying is that what they're saying is industry strategists even say that sports betting and casino style games are even posed to become as much as a 40 billion market as online gambling ads dominate TV, podcasts, and streaming platforms. So what are some players? So according to Seeking Alpha, these are some of the players that are in the space. And so you have gambling.com, you have GAMB, you have DraftKings. I see a lot of DraftKings ads all over the place, and FanDuel. These are two ads I see a lot of. That's DKNG. And then we also see DUEL. You also have BetMGM, and that's by MGM Resorts International. That ticker is MGM. Hey, Karen. Yeah, Penn Gaming. Really good one. Really good one. And that's actually not on my list, so you get a gold star for that one. Way to go, Karen. You rock star. You're rocking it today. You go, girl. And then we also have WinBet, and that ticker is WYNN. That's Wynn Resorts. And again, ticker WYNN. So, some NFL related headlines here. In addition, so I'm sorry, was that an awkward transition? I'm trying to work on my transitions to make them a little bit smoother. Yes, I am. So we get through, it's the end of the season, right? And what are we looking at, NFL wise for the fall? What are we looking at? Like, where can we watch the games and what's going to happen? So here's some interesting headlines that came out. The first one actually came out the first week of February, and it turns out that Disney is bidding for the NFL Sunday Ticket. Yeah, they're going to be bidding for the NFL Sunday Ticket. So who knows, maybe on Disney Plus, you might be able to watch all of the football games. And can I tell you, I actually miss the NFL Sunday Ticket because being in New Jersey, sometimes the Steeler games are blocked out for me, and it makes me feel really sad. So I'd be very excited because I have Disney Plus, and I would be very excited to be able to watch it there. Another interesting development on the NFL side, it has to do with Amazon. Did anyone see that ad during the Super Bowl? Amazon is going to be exclusively broadcasting the Thursday Night Football. So TNF, Thursday Night Football, is going to be exclusive to Amazon in for the next 11 years. They have an 11-year agreement. Yeah. So if you have Amazon Prime, you'll be able to watch Thursday Night Football on Amazon. Interesting, right? Isn't that an interesting development? Isn't it funny how this whole landscape is just changing so rapidly? So yeah, Amazon, AMZN, is going to have Thursday Night Football. Okay, so frequently I talk about ETFs, right? I talk about ETFs, and I talk about ETFs as a diversification play. So you can have, but there's different types of ETFs, and there's also thematic ETFs. So you have thematic ETFs are ETFs that focus on concepts, okay? Industries, sectors, okay? So they focus on concepts. And then there are also diversified ETFs, right? So you can, for example, invest in the SPYs, which follows the S&P 500, and have, diversification over a lot of different sectors. Yeah, you can. But you can also diversify within an industry group. And this can be really helpful when you have a concept that you want to invest in, but you don't know who the players are going to be, right? So say it's a rapidly evolving industry group. You're really interested in it, but there's no way that you can stay on top of all the developments. So an industry group, a thematic ETF, is not going to give you cross-sector diversification. No, it's not going to do that. But it will give you diversification over a theme, okay? And so you can actually do this for sports gambling. Yeah, you can. And actually, US News highlighted 3 ETFs that focus on gaming, gambling, and casinos. Yeah, so these were the 3 names that they highlighted. And if you're interested in learning more, definitely look them up. So the first one they highlight is Round Hill Sports Betting and iGaming ETF, and that ticker is BETZ. Then we have the Van Eck Vectors Gaming ETF, and that ticker is BJK. And then we have the Round Hill Esports and Digital Entertainment ETF, and that ticker, it makes me giggle, is NERD, N-E-R-D. Yep, NERD, N-E-R-D. So when you're looking at these ETFs, what you want to do is you actually want to go and look at the top holdings. You want to look at the top holdings, and when you're looking at it, look at the top holdings and just make sure that those are the stocks that you believe in, right? Because yeah, you might believe in the theme, but you got to go in and look at the top holdings. Because remember, the ETF is holdings of a bunch of companies. So you want to go in and look at those companies. And I actually did that recently for a thematic ETF. Yeah, it said that it was a certain theme. I went and I looked at it and I looked at the top holdings and I'm like, no, this isn't what I'm looking for. This is not, they say this is the theme, but this is not what I'm looking for. No, I'm looking for something else. So it's really good to investigate, beyond what they write about the ETF, but actually go in and look at the names of the companies that they are holding inside. So that's a little tip there for when you're investigating your ETFs. Okay, now I'm going to talk just a little bit about gas. And oil. I know that I talked about it recently in a prior broadcast. So what I'd like you to do is, if you want more information on how the oil industry works, definitely check out. I think it was January 27th, I think. But if you look at all my broadcasts, I put a little description in the bottom of what I talk about. So look for the oil and gas chat that I did a few weeks ago. But what I really want to just touch upon is the ongoing Russia-Ukraine drama. Okay, so you'll see fluctuations in the oil market and the oil price because there's fluctuations in what the countries are saying to each other. So like when Russia said that they were going to withdraw, gas prices went down. And then when US said, oh no, they're not withdrawing, they're just talking the talk, and then the Ukraine gets a cyber hacked, and the saga goes on and on and on. Okay, and to see how that would affect the oil markets, definitely check out my last chat. But there were a couple headlines that piqued my interest as a result of sort of this fiasco that's going on. And so I'm kind of doing a new segment called Isn't It Convenient? And I don't know if you guys remember the church lady, but isn't it convenient? So this new segment is inspired by this headline. Okay, so as you know, Russia supplies a lot of oil to Europe, right? So if Europe is feeling pressures to put sanctions on Russia, they're like, oh my gosh, where are we gonna get our oil from? Right? So I was not surprised to see this headline come out. And this headline was, France Foreign Minister, Le Drian, I hope I pronounced that right. Iran nuclear deal is within reach and will be a matter of days. Deal requires political decision to be made by Iran. And the Iraq Accord will allow them to contribute oil. Isn't that convenient? Isn't it convenient that Europe is going to Iran right now and saying, okay, let's do an accord. Let's get you pumping oil again. We need oil. We need a safety net. We need a backup plan in case this fiasco with Russia goes downhill really fast. So that's my isn't it convenient? Yeah, that's the headline that goes to that. Also, as a repercussion of these high energy prices, is the federal gas tax holiday. Has anyone heard about this? The federal gas tax holiday? Okay, so this excerpt comes from the Washington Post. So the White House and top Democratic lawmakers are beginning to weigh a new push for a federal gas tax holiday, potentially pausing fees at the pump as part of a broader campaign to combat rising prices. Yeah, so they're looking to potentially give us some relief at the pump with these high gas prices to make the White House look better. Yeah. What do you guys think about it? Go ahead, chime in, send me notes, send me messages. I want to hear what you guys think about that. I do. I want to hear what you guys think about that. Okay, so in the news, some of the interesting headlines, the interesting, the weird, and the interesting. So in the news this week, this headline: Apple backs federal marijuana legalization effort through app stores. This is out of Forbes. And this is kind of sensationalizing it, but basically Robert Hoban, who's the writer here, wrote that the support was made clear over the summer as part of Apple's, and that ticker is AAPL, decision to allow marijuana delivery companies in its app store. So yes, there are marijuana delivery companies in the Apple App Store. I am not going to be looking at this, but I saw that headline, and maybe someone will check it out for me and tell me how that works. Yeah, interesting, right? Yeah, so interesting. But medicinal marijuana is legal in a lot of states, so maybe they're seeing seeing potential revenue coming that way. Yeah, interesting, right? Okay, and then as we remember, I think we were talking about this a few months ago. We were talking about the Amazon Visa spat that was going on about credit card charges. Yeah, do you remember this? Do you remember how we were talking about this? How Amazon was flexing its muscles, right? Visa says that they have actually reached a broad global agreement with Amazon, and now Amazon will accept Visa at all Amazon sites and stores. So I was worried about that. Weren't you guys worried about that? Yeah, I was. No, I wasn't worried about that. But it would be challenging. It would definitely be challenging. So next headline brings new meaning to Pleasantville, right? The new meaning to Pleasantville comes out of a Disney headline. That's DIS. And Disney is developing new residential communities. So if you want to be in the happiest place on earth 365 days a year, yes, you can be in Happyville. You can be in Disneyville. You can live in Disneyville. Yeah, so this is some details on this. So it's the first 24-acre development will be in Rancho Mirage, California. And the complexes will be aimed at all ages, including 55 and up. And then, so what they're talking about is that the new residential development businesses will be called Story Living by Disney. Story Living. Live your story. I live in Pleasantville in my head every day. I create this little pleasant bubble for myself to live in. Yes, I do. But if you need to have yeah, interesting. Tell me what you guys think of that one too. Tell me what you think about that too. And speaking of living your childhood fantasies, have any of you had the child fantasies of going to space? Have any of you? Well, it turns out that Virgin Galactic, and that ticker is SPCE, open ticket sales to the public. Yeah, you too can go to space. Yes, you can. And you can do it for a mere $450,000. Yeah, $450,000. A mere $450,000. And you too can go to space. Okay. And that is a deposit of $150,000. So speaking of flights and taking off and going on vacation, this headline out of Airbnb, who had really great results this week, actually earnings results, they said that, and this is kind of going on the tail of what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about how all the EV ads that we've been seeing. But this headline, it was actually boasting that 850,000 hosts on Airbnb now offer EV charging. So if you have an EV and you want to make sure that you can charge it, well, you can actually add that to your search criteria. So how about that? How about that? Way to go, Airbnb. Way to go. Okay, so my final headline here comes out of TechCrunch, and it has to do with Ford, and that ticker is F. So this is kind of this is a neat concept. I thought this was kind of intriguing. So this headline talks about how Ford is teasing the prospect of 3D printing your own accessories. You can 3D print your own accessories. Isn't that neat? I kind of like that. Could you imagine, like, if you had an outfit, right, and you wanted to like 3D print your belt? How cool is that? Okay, I just gave you guys an idea. Take that idea and run with it, right? Like, you could like 3D print the different types of belt buckles, or like the ear. I love it. I love that idea. I love it. Okay. Anyhow, it's going to 3D print your own accessories when it unveiled the Maverick hybrid pickup truck, and it's acting on that promise. According to 3D Printing Industry and Newsweek, the brand has released CAD files to help you 3D print add-ons compatible with the Ford integrated tether system, and that's FITS, F-I-T-S, slots behind the center console and under seat storage bins. You can build a cup holder that fits your favorite drink, a phone mount tailored to your latest handset. So yeah, that's a neat headline coming out of TechCrunch talking about Ford. So as always, I love to leave you guys with a little bit of inspiration. And today's inspiration actually comes out of Dolly Parton. I was frankly confused by Dolly Parton's Super Bowl ad. I was. Yeah, that because she's so giving and she has such a wonderful heart, and I was just confused. I know, I was just confused about the 5G phone thing. I don't know if anyone else was, but this inspiration today comes out of Dolly Parton, and the quote is, "The way I see it, if you want a rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain." Okay, I'm going to repeat it one more time for you guys. The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. And my wish for you is that your rainbow leads you to financial independence. That's the pot of gold that I wish for you guys, financial independence. And should you wish to take your journey outside of these weekly coffee talks, I love having you here every week. It touches, I mean, I love the feedback that I'm getting on the show. Thank you so much for all your kind words. It really is super inspiring to keep coming back every week. But should you want to take, your journey outside these coffee talks, I do offer my classes and workshops. So the March and April classes will be put on herfiniq.com. That's herfiniq.com. And you can also keep an eye out for different organizations that I'll be speaking with as well, which is pretty cool. So I'm Jessica Perrone. This is Her Investing Coffee Talk. Thank you so much for joining me today. And via recording, if you're watching this via a recording. And may the markets be in your favor. I'll see you. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful day. Go rock it, you rock stars. Go rock it. Yes. Take care. Bye.